My beautiful people, welcome back to another episode, man, of 23 in Mama's Backroom. It's your host with the most, the boy, the man, the myth, the legend, the one and the only, man. Safari. Today's episode is going to be a little different and it's also going to be short. And it's going to be different in the sense that Namhlanje I'm gonna be true to my word. Like I'm really gonna keep it short. Because I remember the previous episode. I said it would be short, but it wasn't really short. But yeah, man. First things first. I really want to talk about the music, yeah, because right now I'm in the process of dropping a series. Like it's a project, but it's a series. Because I'm dropping it. It's the music, right? It's a series. It's a project, but I'm dropping it in a series form, yeah. Because the first one has already dropped, which was it dropped on the 4th of April. I think 4th or 3rd of April, I'm not sure, but first week of April it dropped. And it's not doing so bad. It's really not doing so bad. Damn, forgot the name. The title of the project as a whole is Signature. Because the first one was Induction, right? The first project that I dropped in this tradition, like in this way of having it drop as a series, but it's one project. Yeah. So the second one is Signature. I was stuck between the autograph and the signature, but I was in two minds about it, and I was thinking to myself, like, who calls it an autograph? At least in South Africa, bruh, like who talks about the autograph? And also what importance does the autograph have? You know what I mean? So I thought signature because number one, I think the sound there is my signature sound and my signature style. And number two, I'm at a point where now, like, I think I have my foot in the door, and if there's contracts that I must sign, obviously I'm putting my signature down there, you know what I mean? So, yeah, man. And it's funny because I thought, how do I roll it out? Like, really, how do I roll it out? And I was talking to my boy, Umike, and then I was like, bro, I'm thinking of maybe like, because also this podcast thing, it's also relatively new. So I thought, why not have 23 in Mama's Backroom is also relatively new because we're 3 episodes in. Like this is the third episode. So I was talking to my boy, I was thinking maybe like the other episode that I drop here, having that be a promotion of the series, yeah, well, yeah, Nanseka, yeah, project, Umculo, yeah, Yomculo, yeah, because the first one has already dropped. It's not doing so bad. Because also I don't have any like expectations of now when it comes to this thing. Development yenze and then can't even about okay, not writing or distribute. And I don't have any attachment to how it does or whatever, or how it performs. Because I think ayona ningamandla kum is just making it, just the process of creating it, because I love creating. And that process of creating is the most enjoyable process to me. And that's the only process that I can control, really. Yeah, if I can control anything, that process of controlling how I create that process of creating it is the only process that I can control, So after that, anything after that, it's not up to me, because the project is gonna have a life of its own and it's gonna literally just do how it does, and also the universe is gonna decide. So I was talking to my boy, I don't want to do it a disservice of not promoting it though, or at least letting people know that kukhinto ekumila kunje endizayijoba, or at least endisebenza kuyo, yabo. So it was like, why don't you just do a episode, or why don't you just get in front of the camera and just promote it there? I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like it's cringe. And then he was like, nigga, Ozao, first of all, at some point, like, we're all dying, bro. At some point, like, God forbid, but we're all dying at some point. So you afraid of being cringe? Like, I don't think when you get to heaven, you're gonna look back and be like, oh, thank God I avoided being cringe. Like, that's really not what's gonna happen. More than anything, you're just gonna have a regret, really, of if I had just talked myself out of that cringe, feeling and just done it, how would it have went? And then you're not gonna know how it would have went. Then that's the biggest regret you're gonna have. And I was like, oh, my boy has a point. My boy has a very valid point. But nonetheless, man, I decided on a signature because I'm 23. This stage of my life is serious because I'm young, bro, but I'm not a kid, So it's serious, but it's also not so serious. Not as serious as some would have me believe. But that's what I wanted to talk about because, funny enough, the topic that I'm approaching on the project as a whole is the point and time in my life where I am, where I feel like I should have things figured out. I should have this and this and this and that, you know, and that thought of should, like this thing should have happened or it should happen. It's always in comparison to other peers of mine. Like when I look at some of them, I think to myself like, yo, so and so is working, like so and so is moving out of his parents' house, so and so. And I think it's a natural thing because I don't like consciously do it, but my mind just compares myself to them, which number one, I think it's not, like I said, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but like how you let it manifest itself ke ngapha kuwe. Like, are you gonna be umntu onomona? Like, are you gonna have secret animosity to this person that is now achieving this milestone, in their life? Or like, how are you gonna react to it now? That's what decides whether or not you're a good person. But I don't think the feeling itself makes you a bad person, And I was like, why am I comparing myself to so and so? Like, why am I doing that, bro? Because like more than anything, I think really I should just be happy for them, because it's their time, and God had God had it in His plans for that to happen for them at that particular time. And like Utasha says, So yeah, man, like that project. I almost said EP, but to be fair, it is an EP. Nangona is dropping as a series, but it is an EP as a whole. It's 3 songs. So the first one is Tomorrow is Merely Envisaged, which basically means tomorrow is merely envisioned. Because okay, Manhattan, but I hope I don't lose this train of thought. Then the second one is Tell Me Now, How Do I? And then the third one is Tomorrow. And I'm working on the EP with Ayo Entrance Music, who's my producer. Shout out to my nigga. That's the reason why I speak English, really, because he's not from here, he's from the States, the United States. But I do talk to him on the emails from time to time again, And that's if he's watching anyway, because I met him on YouTube, right? So yeah, he's the producer, produced the whole album. And I'm working on it with Aluf Boda and El Brian. Aluf Boda and El Brian, funny enough, they're my friends from high school. Like, it's 10 years into our friendship because we met in 2016. And funny enough, they both have the same first name but different last names, which is very funny because I feel like we would argue a lot, especially in our teenage years. We'd argue a lot, man. And especially, particularly the two of them, they'd even like get into physical fights. Because I remember this one time, it it didn't escalate, but it was physical because it was just blood. It was just really funny to me. But anyway, yeah. So and yeah, man, like I'm working on just building something with my bros, because like collectively we call ourselves the movement. So yeah, man. And as I was thinking, really like trying to conceptualize the episode, in my head, I was thinking to myself, like, why is it really that we feel this entitlement to having things figured out, especially at this age? Because I think the entitlement, and before I go any further than this, listen, this is not my first language, okay, guys. So you're gonna have to excuse me for, speaking as close here and there. But obviously, I'm hoping and praying that anyone that is watching this, or people that do actually watch this, they do understand this course. If not, I will give you lessons, man, but you just have to understand it, because I had to literally learn another language in order to be able to communicate, to at least like to be able to be heard by like a broader audience, but my first language, or my home language, is just course, and this course, because yo, Komani, obviously nalapha eTinarha, tata ngwasezinyoka, naseKerkut. So ndiwalapha ekoloni, Mpuma Koloni yabo. So mna ndithetha isiXhosa mna, yabo. But yeah man, like it's funny enough because I remember on the first episode I said I was doing engineering, right? So I'm digressing, but I'll connect the two. Bear with me. I was doing engineering, but out of the 4 modules I was doing, I only qualified to write 2 for the exam. So I was writing the last one on Klanje, which was the digital electronics. The first one was electrotechnics, but the other one is industrial electrotechnics, and the other one is mathematics. Those are the 2 that I didn't qualify to write: mathematics and industrial electrotechnics. But I wrote digital electronics and I wrote electrotechnics. And I would say they went well. They really went well. But after today, I was just thinking really to myself, like, hey, last one, like, what is the plan? Like, was as paying as modules, is out in like, and I'm in 2 minds about it because I really want to do it, but also there's this passion of mine that is reignited. Or especially, I think it's the Matlanga Commission because I'm invested too much in the Matlanga Commission and I'm seeing the need for advocates, And growing up, like up until I think until now, like I've always aspired to be a lawyer and I've always had it in me to like want to be a lawyer. So I want to do that. Like I really do, like because that little boy in me still wants to do that, And I think I owe it to that little boy in me, to like make that dream of his come true, because essentially it is also my dream as an old, or at least an older guy, because I'm not a child, because like I said, I'm 23, so I'm not a child, but I'm still young, and I owe it to myself to make that come true. But now what happens to engineering, and I think it's just, like I can't have everything, and I can't do everything, and I think, like, I have to make peace with the fact that, bro, like, you're not gonna be everything, you're not gonna do everything, and that's okay, but I think if the one thing that you do, like, end up doing is the one thing that you always aspire to do, then I think that's a win, and I'll take it, really, I'll take it. So I said that to say, I'm thinking of dropping out of engineering, because I've already applied to other institutions to do law, because I was writing an essay. In fact, after the paper, I wrote an essay and I submitted it because the institution the apply go and then they told me to write essay about why are you applying to our particular institution, and also what are you planning to do with the qualification after like getting it. So I was writing the essay, and as I was writing that essay, guys, I felt that compulsion to actually make this dream come true, because as I'm writing, I'm realizing about, no man, actually ndiyayifuna le nto, like ndiyafuna uyenza le nto, So I say that to say, like, well, the point in time of our lives, the point sikuyo, why do we feel like we should have things figured out? Because I feel like the more than anything, the thing that makes me feel bad is that I feel like I'm supposed to have things figured out, but also I don't have things figured out because my mind is all over the place, because I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do that, because ngiyamthula ndiyafuna uyenza and futhi ndiyawenza, nale nto ndiyenzayo naye ndiyafuna uyenza futhi nako ndiyenza, and I think to myself, like, actually mna ndiyi-jack of all trades, because there's that English saying master, no, a jack of all trades but a master of none. But it's often better than the master of one. That's the full saying as a whole. But xa kuthethwa kuyathandwa kuthiwa jack of all trades, but ishonqo ngaphakathi, so xa ipheleleyo ithi jack of all trades, master of none, but often better than the master of one. And I don't know if I'm gonna continue with the engineering, but like obviously biofinances or continuous as corn, and then I'll continue. But nangona ke, because like especially now having done it, I'm more familiar with it, right? And I know that as modules zethu, if I was to do them again, I'd do much better with them, because obviously now I have the background knowledge and I'm more familiar with them. But more than anything, I think in my heart of hearts, I want to do law. Like I really like genuinely want to study law. And now I'm seeing obviously number one, the importance and the demand. So engineering, I was doing it for the money, to be fair and to be honest. But man, like when tennis has connected against yabo. So xa ndiziconnecta ndithi intoba we're at this point and very weird point and stage in our lives where starting over feels weird. Like it really, like you feel when you feel guilty and you feel so wrong for starting over. Of which I don't think, like obviously I think the best time to start, because I'm a China, I don't know about it, but it's obviously an English saying. It's translated from a Chinese proverb, but it's an English expression or an English proverb that says the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago, but the next best time is today. You know? So I say that to say like the best time to probably do law would have been a while back, but it's not that I didn't, because I applied and I was accepted, but due to financial and space constraints at the institution now, but financial constraints from my side, I couldn't really continue with that passion of mine. So I had to study something else. I had to be practical about things. Because even now I would like to think that I'm being practical, because also I have been fortunate enough, but fingers crossed it goes well. I've been fortunate enough because I've been looking for work and I've been fortunate enough to secure an interview. So I'll come back, obviously, give you a summary of how that went, because that is my way of trying to raise the funds, And not a very big fan of podcasts, but PNC, People Need Comedy. It's basically it's I think it's self-explanatory. People need comedy. For me, it's my comic relief. Yeah, because the podcast Popopsi, in fact, it's hosted by Popopsi, Ufarida, Tsitsi Chumia, Tavis Mplongo, Dylan Oliphant, Chandra, at times he's a Van Veek, at times he's an Abrahams. So but like Pops was saying something there. He said, why are we so afraid to go back to our mom's backrooms and starting off, especially if your life requires, especially if you're at a point in time in your life where it is necessary and it is a requirement for you to go back there and start over, like literally build something from scratch, or at least from that point. Because at least it might look like you're building from scratch, but you're building on knowledge now, the wisdom, the know-how, the experience of knowing that, okay, when you do this and this and this and that happens. And because when you're younger, you always wonder about I wonder can't tell that goes out team. Now when you have the knowledge and the experience, you know now about what goes out now. So you know not to do it, or at least depending on what happens, you know not to do it or to do it. But essentially he said that, and I was like, like something in me clicked, bro. I was like, actually, like really, why are we so afraid? Like why are we always so concerned about or whatever the case may be? And I feel like that's very egotistical, from our, or at least my perspective, that is very egotistical of me to do that, because that also is me basically functioning of the assumption that people care enough that I'm doing that. People don't have anything better to do with their lives, that they care so much. But obviously at times I do worry, I say he had so much potential growing up, but look at him now, dun. But I'm not necessarily worried about me, because I know what I'm doing, but I'm worried about my mom, bro, because now she would brag about my potential, and how good and how clever I was really growing up, or at least how academically gifted I was. So I do worry that those things might get to her, but otherwise, individually and personally, they don't get to me, So, because I remember, like, as I was conceptualizing today's episode, my brain hardly forgets. Because, like I said, I spoke of Uliama for Liama Khalo. Those were my friends for, I think, Ngunyaka Shumilo. Like, this is the 10th year we are friends now, because 2016 is when we met, when we all started high school. And I remember term 3, 2016, grade 8, we failed English because so we're coming from predominantly Xhosa speaking environments, because like I said, was a colon, like all over colon, because in the Kule Komani, Kulechini, Kulebai, Kuledinaha, Kelkut, Kulutata, you see all of those places, right? And then Uliema, Uhalo, Wasi, Olomi, Sakwana Buhle, but I think Una Neka say Alice. yabo, and then nantsika uliyema uvoko ngwasifie plus eBhayi yabo nakhona. So our environments are predominantly Xhosa speaking, yabo, so you have to bear with me. So yeah, you have to bear with me for speaking this Xhosa here and there, but also that's why we didn't do so well with English, yeah. So I remember even like we were walking into Inanziga a period in English after having written exams in English, and the teacher was supposed to hand our scripts back to us. And she told us, like, before giving us our scripts, like, yo guys, it was bad. I don't know what happened, but it was really bad. Maybe out of 31, only 4 passed. You know? So we knew, like, we expected, we were, oh, okay, I sent Angagufi. And it's funny because, which was a recipe for disaster back then, but Uliyema for Uliyema Khalo, Nam Asamakibutwana, like we sat in the same row, you know. And so we got our scripts back. I think my boy got a 12 out of 40. And we were childish, man, but we laughed, you know. Like, it's not that we don't know about Sifili Latina. We know about Sifili Latina, but we're like, damn, bro, 12 out of 40. And then Liam Khalo got his paper back, and it's 13 out of 40. It's not that different. So we all were laughing. So now we're all waiting for me, you know, for my paper, like my script. And then when my script got back, it's a 14. It's like, peas on the same pod, bro, like birds of the same whatever, but they flock together, you see? So it's not that, like, our marks are not that different, but it's funny because we just laughed about it then, and we just told ourselves, like, we had a conversation amongst ourselves. We were like, Suga, it was just an exam. With the next term, it's gonna go better, we're gonna do better. And it did go better because we did actually, like, put in the time, put in the effort into, like, because, bro, for the first time, for the first time, I saw motherfuckers studying for an English exam, which was never the case. You know what I mean? But, like, I say that to say, like, back then, bro, it was so easy to just say, next time will go much better. But, like, now, at this point in time in our lives, we feel like something bad happening, we feel like it's a dead sentence, when in all actuality, it shouldn't be, bruh. More than anything, it's a redirection, yeah, but like to actually do a Yonando, like that you're passionate about, and Yonando. The worst thing just happened because I was recording, my phone rang, and video was cutting half, literally. But yeah, man, like I said that to say, when you're young, like, whenever you find yourself in a bad situation, you know, but it's not the end of the world, you know. So I don't think there should be any difference now, because we are still young. Now, when I get the only difference now is that we're not children, but we are young still, you know. And I think now we are very fortunate that now we have the wisdom scenario, and obviously these lessons that we've learned from the previous mistakes we've made, you see. So, like, now we are at a more favorable position, really, more than anything, yeah, well, to just start from this point and just move forward, you know. Because I like watching PNC, Pop-Ups once said, he said, people are so afraid of going back to their mom's back room and starting over from scratch again. And if you are at a point in time in your life where it requires, and that thing is necessary, like it's necessary to go back to the back room again and start over again, do that. Because what other option do you have? That's why many people kill themselves or commit suicide, because they feel like, or whatever the case may be. Like, you shouldn't be that invested into what other people think, so much so that it prevents you from doing what you need to do, and now you know that you need to do it. You know what I mean? But it might, like, it's always easier said than done. It's always easier said than done. But I'll tell you this without any fear of contradiction, really, that contrary to how it feels, when you find yourself in a tight spot, especially at this age or at an older age, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, like, okay, I think the one thing that is a bit tricky is the funding, because with the school thing, like, I would like to go back to school, like, in fact, I am studying now, like I said, most engineering, and I was doing 4 modules. Yeah, but then bensenza elec electrotechnics, electrotechnics, digital electronics, industrial electronics, and mathematics. So out of the four, I only qualified to write electrotechnics and digital electronics. And it's a passion of mine. It's an interest of mine, but it's not a passion of mine. My passion is law. It's always been law, you know. And also like because I've been applying, because Namhlanje I was submitting an essay. I was asked by, I won't name the institution by name, but this institution said, write the essay and about number one, why this institution, and number two, what is your plan after having completed this qualification. And I was submitting that, and as I was writing, that feeling of a passion was so reignited that I felt like, yo, if there's one thing I do, or if there's one interest I pursue out of all my interests, and I must give it my all, it is this one. You know what I mean? But obviously, I feel like finances are a bit of a problem, because like I am in a single income household, and may his soul rest in peace, but my father passed away. So like I don't have that, you know. But nonetheless, I know that God will make a plan, especially if this is something that I must pursue, you know. So like give it a shot, man. Like I say that to say give it a shot, bro. Give it a shot. Like you'll be surprised how things work out, like how God works. You know, because I know for a fact that there's certain situations that I was in, and I like God miraculously somehow I would find myself out of those situations, and I think to myself like it can only be God. It's only Him, you know. We are yet to namandla kwenza ngohlobo, you know. So yeah, man, like I say that to say like it's not the end of the world. Contrary to how it feels, it's really not the end of the world. And yeah, man, like please, like when you do have time, check out the music, like Unanziko Signature, because the first episode of the series has already dropped. The second one is dropping on the 18th of April, and the third one is dropping on the 29th of April. So it would really mean a lot to me if you like listen and like just like, or if it's not your cup of tea, I would like if uthetha umamelayo wona iya kodwa le fish oil ayiyo le ngiqotha ngayo. You don't have to like, you know, but if it is like something you would like to hear more of, just like it, then I would know it about, okay, then like this music is what's needed by the people, because the reason why I created is because for my soul needs to hear that. My soul needs it, you know, and also my soul needs to, like I need to create, you know. So yeah, man. And also listen to PNC, because I think if you get that comic relief and just forget about your problems, you will understand about like this is not the end of the world. And my problem compared to England is like compared to the amount of problems the world is facing, it's just a tiny drop in the ocean, you know. Because PNC drops on Wednesday at 3, you know, which is why because like I have a lot of spare time, so I figured I must keep myself busy just up until I get to hear or listen to Unansi PNC again. That's why I'm recording on a Monday, but I'm dropping on Tuesday morning, you know. So preferably before 9, you see. In fact, let's make it 9. And when on Saturday, because I want to drop twice at least in 1 week, you know. So yeah, man. Is it bi-weekly? Yeah, I want to drop bi-weekly. Huh. Sounds posh. Sounds very fancy. But yeah, man, like be kind to yourself, man. Like if ever you felt like it's the end of the world, listen to this, watch this, and at least find comfort in knowing that it's not, you're not the only one in this situation, and fully it's not the end of the world. It's really not. You know, next time I do this, I would really love for Nazik William Uvoko to be here, because he's been wanting to like at least record some music and like just see his boy, man, from time. And I couldn't do it then because I was busy because I was studying. But Now I'm contemplating dropping out of engineering because not that I can't do it, because especially now that I've done it before, I'm familiar with it and I know that I can do it. But I'm just thinking, man, like it's expensive, you know, and also like a calling and it's low, you know. But I'll decide, man, and obviously I'll let you know. Yeah, but first things first is the interview that I said I secured, because that interview, that job, when I do get that job, it's gonna go a long way in terms of like investing in equipment for this, and also investing in the studies, man. You know, but like let's form like a collective or a communion of the people going through the same thing, and let's just find a way to like get through this situation, especially find a way around the finances and all of that and all of that. I promise you, like if it's more than me, more than one person, like ganging up on the same problem, I promise you will win. Yeah, but like masipakanye le inye. Yeah, but can this le challenge inye, sipakanye le song. I promise you, like we will find a way around it, you know. But I can't wait for PNC to drop. I really can't. Because I love them all, man. But I love Utsitsi, because Utsitsi for me is the most relatable, you know, because at times he would cry on the episode and people would make him feel bad for that. But like since we were born, bruh, do you remember, like, because I was watching something and then a baby was born and that baby didn't cry, and that like right then and there the doctor pronounced the baby dead. Yeah, so I thought to myself, Hela, if from the minute you are born crying is a sign of being alive, then why is it that kasa ukhulile ke ngoku uyindoda it's a sign of weakness or whatever the case may be? No, it's not, bro. It's a sign of being alive. Like it's this, it still means the same. You are alive. You feel these things, and as creatives, as creators, we feel these things, you know. So I say that to say, man, but you can't just bottle. Number one, you can't bottle those emotions inside. Number two, if you are crying, you cry, but the next step after that is finding a way through that, nigga, because you must find a way through that. Must. And also, I want to quickly make a song suggestion. Song suggestion. I'd really urge you and beg you to listen to Oven Staples. That album, Oh Ramona Park Broke My Heart. That whole album, you know, because there's an interlude there where this guy probably was arrested, and like people would say, like they would speak negative things onto his life, like that's it, he's going to prison, he's done. And then he said, I can't allow them to be right, and I can't allow anyone to have that much power over my life, that whatever they speak it into existence in my life. Fuck no. Like the spirit of a thug in me, and especially Kaum Lindot. Like ibalekile the land of heaven, that spirit of a thug in you, and say, I'm not soz think. But in the pelele up, let's see who loves last. Because he who loves last, I promise you, he loves the longest. You know? So yeah, man, just love yourself enough to not let whatever negative things people like prophesy on your life. Love yourself enough to not let those things be true. Like work yourself off to make sure that they're wrong. Prove them wrong, bro. But the time, like I love you from the very bottom of my heart. Especially if you make time to listen to this, bro. Because like I said, I treat this the same with the music. I just create it and I put it out there. Now it's not entirely it's entirely not up to me. You know, so if there are people that listen or watch, whatever the case may be, to see you from the very deepest depth of my soul. Thank you, and I appreciate you so much. Peace and love from your one and only, the man, the myth, the legend, Safar. 23 and Mama's Backroom. And you. Oh, I have a dead leg. Because in Zamba fans, including the fans.